Hello. Today we're going to be talking about operations with functions. So some of the first basic ones are adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. And this is the way they're going to write it. They're going to write an f plus g inside parentheses, and then another set of parentheses, x. So what I want you to know is this is not saying f plus g multiply times an x. That's not what it's saying. What it's saying is it's saying the function f of x, it might be an entire equation, plus the function g of x is what they're trying to say when they see this notation, this f of g of x. So if you had a f of x was x plus 2, and you had a g of x is just 3h, then f plus g of x would equal x plus 2 plus 3x. So it's just putting a plus sign in between the two equations. It really is as simple as that. When you're subtracting, again, just as easy. I would caution you, though, that you might want to put this inside of parentheses, so that way, if you notice when you go to simplify, if this was something you could distribute, maybe you might have to distribute that minus sign. In this example, you don't have to, but just be aware of that. Multiplying, so they're going to use the dot symbol. F dot g of x means multiply, so f of x times g of x. Remember, we're going to be doing some multiplying. Now, that might mean either distributing, or it might mean foiling, something like that, or double distribute, however you want to think of it. And quotient is really just f over g of x, okay? That bar line means divide. It looks like a fraction. It's really just a division. And so you're going to take the equation, the f of x equation, put it on top, g of x equation on the bottom. And a lot of times, you're not going to be able to simplify too much more. The things I would watch out for would be, is there a square root on the bottom? Because remember, our simplifying rules say you can't have that. And so that's what I would pay attention to that. But yeah, add, subtract, multiply, divide, things you can do with plain numbers, you can do with functions. Okay, so just a little bit more, just to kind of show you this. F of x, let's say it's 2x plus 1, g of x 3x. Again, just adding them together is just putting a plus sign in between them. Okay, so then you can combine, you can combine these and call it 5x plus 1, because you can combine your 2x and your 3x makes 5x's. So you can simplify these when you're done. Now, if I subtract it, again, just find your like terms and subtract. Multiplying, again, we're distributing, and dividing is just leaving it as top and bottom. A lot of times there's just not much more to that. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is called the composition of functions. Now, a composition of functions has not a times dot, but it has this little tiny o, and they call it FOG, can be described by the equation. So it's really close to what a times looks like, but it's not. It's something different. It is the same thing as taking this g of x and putting it inside the x of your f equation. So if I were to figure out the g of x, I'm going to get that value, and then I'm going to put that value inside x of the f equation. So f of g of x is how you see that. But that is FOG. Big thing I want to point out is g is closest to the x, so do g of x first, and then that's going inside the f of x. All right, so let's do a little example. If we had the same 2x plus 1, and we had g of x is 3x again, then f of g of x, so FOG of x, would be f of g of x. So if g of x is 3x, we're going to put the 3x inside the x of the f of x equation. So 2 times this 3x plus 1. Now, the interesting thing about this is down here, you can flip the order. if I flip the order and move the g out front and the f here, now I'm going to take the f of x and I'm going to put the f of x inside the g of x. So what that's going to look like is we're going to have the f of x inside the g of x, if that makes sense. So I'm going to take this 2x plus 1 and put it inside the 3x and then simplify after that. So that is the FOG or GOF function of x. So let's look at something off of our homework. They're going to ask for the GOH of x. Now again, G, H, F, they're just basic ways of naming different formulas, different functions. So GOH, now reading left to right, you see the G first, but it's actually the H of x that I'm going to start with. So I'm going to grab this H of x formula, and I'm going to put it inside the G of x formula. So GOH, in that order, order is important, of x will equal, we're going to take this 3x minus 4, and we're going to put that inside the 2x. So now then it's inside there, I can simplify it a little bit. We always want to simplify. And so distribute it. 2 times 3x is 6x, minus 2 times 4 is 8. And so GOH of x is 6x minus 8. Now if I want to flip that, and I want the HOG, what a hog that one is, of x, that one, we're going to put the 2x, which was our g of x, we're going to put that inside the h of x, which was a 3x minus 4. And so now, there isn't really anything to distribute. 3 times 2x is 6x minus 4. And so notice that g of h and HOG are two different values. So order is going to matter on this. So pay close attention to that. All right, so what happens if I have an f of g of 3? Well, there's two ways you can do this. What it's really saying, so if f of x is 3x, and g of x is x plus 7, and even if we do have an h of x, the f and g tell me which equations to use. So I can write this, and this is basically saying that inside the g of x, I want a 3. So I'm going to put a 3 inside which equation first? G of x. G of x is x plus 7. So x plus 7 is going to look like that. Now, f of that value, I'm going to take that entire value and put it inside the f equation. Now, that's a 3x, so I'm going to put that inside of my f equation. You can set it all up and then solve, if you want, and go 3 plus 7 is 10, and 10 times 3 is 30. And you can get the answer is 30. Okay, so f of g of 3 equals 30. Or if you like to do it separately, you can just start with this, with g of 3 is 3 plus 7, which equals 10. Then you can say, well, then I want to use f of what? F of the 10 that I just got equals 3 times 10, which equals 30. Either way, you still get 30. 30 is your answer for this f of g of 3. So you can solve it two different ways. You can put it all together and then do all the multiplication, or if you want to keep it simple and you think it's nicer to find g of 3 first and then take that answer and put it in your outside equation, that's good too. So if I want to look at 11 real fast, we're going to grab the negative 2, and and we're going to put a negative 2 inside the h equation. Okay, h. So that's an x squared. So I'm going to put that x squared. So I'm replacing the x with a number. And then I'm going to put that inside of the g equation. And the g equation was an x plus 7. So working inside out, negative 2 squared is a positive 4. And a positive 4 plus 7 is an 11. And then that's your solution. And you can even plug this in multiple times if you wanted to take this 1 that they gave us, and it's in an h of equation, and h gives us x squared, and then we want to put it inside another h equation. Well, then we could put that into an x squared, and then 1 squared is a 1, and then another squared is still equal to 1. So either way, however you want to look at this, that's what we're doing. So it's functions inside of other functions. Which do I do first? Do I take a discount and then apply a coupon, or do I apply a coupon and then apply a discount? Will that change the price I'm paying for these things? Absolutely, yes, it will. And so we have to calculate some of those things. So good luck. Have a great day.